public figure Pei was to become emerged out of a turning point in American history. After the assassination of President John Kennedy in 1963, the country was inconsolable. Many memorials were planned. The one of greatest importance to his family was his presidential library.
If you put yourself back to 1964, the name Kennedy just ricocheted all over the world. All over the world. China, all the way, Europe, Russia, everywhere. So that was probably the most sought-after commission at that time.
The family invited the world's architectural elite to the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport. It was an unprecedented gathering of the giants of modern architecture. Among them was Louis Kahn, the poet-philosopher of architects, and Mies van der Rohe, reigning elder statesman and formative thinker of modernism. Pei greatly admired both men.
Everyone wanted that commission, and I was fortunate to be included among them. Why, I don't know. But anyway, I was. I'd done very little then, outside of low-cost housing.
With everyone gathered in the family living room, each architect presented his ideas. Pei presented his, but because he was the least prominent, he thought it unlikely he'd be chosen.
I remember now, I was in Italy with my family, having a holiday, and there was no telephone in the house where we lived in, and I received a wire from my office and say, please be at such and such place to receive a telephone call. And the such and such places happened to be an espresso bar in Italy, Castiglioncello. And I went there at a certain appointed hour, and the telephone came. And I picked up the phone. It was Bill Walton, William Walton, Mrs. Kennedy's advisor. They called me and said that you've been chosen. But he just told me it's a question of personal chemistry, that she felt comfortable. And she wanted to be part of it, and she must have thought that I was the person that she could work with.
The site selected was on the grounds of Harvard, Kennedy's alma mater. But despite its auspicious beginnings, the project unraveled and never fulfilled its promise. The assassination of Robert Kennedy, the remarriage of Jacqueline Kennedy, and local conflict over the site took their toll.
And that's why that project has not succeeded, because we spent almost 10 years out of 14 searching for a site. It should have been one of my best and most important projects, and it wasn't. It cannot be.
But the awarding of the commission had lifted Pei out of obscurity and onto the front page.
That actually is what made our firm. I really believe that, and therefore made me as an architect. Because until then, I was not known at all. And after that, people became much more interested in my work.
The firm's most glittering prize, designed by partner Henry Cobb, was the headquarters for the John Hancock Mutual Life Insurance Company. A pristine example of modern skyscraper design, this elegant tower today dominates the Boston skyline. But in the early 1970s, its sleek design in the heart of Copley Square raised the eyebrows of conservative Bostonians. Just as it was nearing completion, one window blew out. Then another and another. A violent storm blew out dozens more, and shattered glass littered the streets. The nightmare had only begun. 1/3 of the windows were boarded up with plywood.
When the windows started to break, of course, all those past critics gathered force, where they were relentless, attacking us. And we had a terrible time, very difficult time.
Lawsuits flew in all directions. The fight to clear its name nearly brought Pei's firm to a standstill. 7 years later, settlement found against the window company, but the damage to Pei and Associates had already been done.
After the Hancock problem developed, I would say big companies shy away from us. I know that.
The shadows of the Hancock years finally disappeared in the sun-drenched spaces of Pei's addition to the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. Dramatic, elegant, and grand, when the East Building opened in 1978, it signaled a change in the way architecture approached the viewing of art. Critics loved it, but it was the public whose eyes opened widest. Pei had imagined a place where people would like to come, and come they did.
In the past, I think they don't particularly care how many people come to the museum, as long as it's a good place to deposit and to show art. I think they were satisfied with that. So this atrium is created for the public to gather here in large crowds, like today, and to be able to see art at the same time. And then when I saw hordes of people coming, looking, walking around, I was very happy. It made me feel that architecture can do something very important in the domain of public education. At that time, the Space Museum was being built. I was very concerned about attracting the young people here, because the Space Museum with the moon module, with all those old airplanes, there's a tremendous competition. And yet how can we bring people here, bring families here with their children, and have fun here and enjoy it? And this is what this museum has accomplished. When I saw the school groups coming in, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was wonderful.
Pei's vision changed expectations about what a visit to a museum could be. Still, it had to be mindful of the museum's classical 19th century architectural pair, comfortable with each other, yet different in their roles. No one was more mindful of this double-edged mandate than J. Carter Brown, then the museum's director.
What I like also, and what a lot of people miss, is the subtle ways in which this building responds to the original John Russell Pope building by respecting the axis that goes driving right through. And to me, the greatest stroke of genius is that when you come out of the West Building and you look through, you see the twin towers of this building exactly framing that axis, and the edge of the third tower coming right on a line that is defined by those glass doors, and there's even a line in the marble that carries it out. One of the real challenges is what to do with this space in between. And it was I.M.'s idea to do what I think he coined a carpet of stone, which gives you a sense, and it goes right through the street, so that as cars go back and forth, they hear a different texture and it's a different color, and they know they're on the axis joining two buildings. And even my own father, I remember, said, "Carter, be careful. If you want to add on to the National Gallery of Art, make sure it doesn't look as if the building had a pup."
Yes.
I am solved that problem.